Hello, the game has started. It is my opponent to go first. I have got a vowel heavy rack. There could be a 5 vowel 8, but I'm not seeing it. Well, just the one consonant to consider in that regard, and I'm not seeing a 5 vowel 8. So how to sort this rack out? I'm immediately drawn to placing my P next to the A of cacao. But then I would have to play the O underneath it. So I think the best I can do is Pori for 20, which is quite dangerous, but I'm not seeing anything better. Not a great rack, pretty unbalanced, but I do have scoring tiles in the H, which does go quite well with the C. So I think I have chalet, which sorts the rack out somewhat. And that was the danger with the Pori play. And OE prevents a big play in column 8. So this is what I'm thinking of, chalet for 28. And that is a pickup. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. I will definitely be bingoing here. I have Soridia and Job. Where are the other lanes? Well, column 9 is a lane, but that's face value. How about a play through the H? Probably maximising score. Well, surely there's something through the H. Well, I'm not seeing it. But row M, I think, is my preferred option because Job takes an E, so I'll score well. And a poor opponent struggling with F, U, and V. So Soridia places an I next to this double letter square, which is dangerous for a play onto the triple. So let me consider alternative plays which avoid that. Not seen anything so far. The rack is slightly vowel heavy. Dariole. Does that have an anagram? Not sure. Aneroid. That also places a vowel where I don't want it. How about the blank as a P? Not seeing anything there. Soridia, radios, and something else. How about this rack? That's avoider and avodia. That doesn't work. Exordia. Okay, I'm going just wondering about playing radios across here. I think opponent's got a random rack. I think this is less dangerous than the vowel underneath the double letter square. I'm going with this. Not bad, but not great either. Fauve takes an S at the end. And I'm looking at plays like Dunk for sorting the rack out. I certainly want to sort out the duplicate D. Wow, nice score for opponent, 51 points. I can play Cond in column 2. But that doesn't score very much, and it retains the U. I don't have a 5-letter play beginning with S. I don't have anything great in row N. So where can my K play? Well, how about Cud? For 24, that's pretty good. Sorts the rack out, scores well. Doesn't give anything massive to opponent. Not good. Just the solitary vowel, so it's an unbalanced rack. There is a floating I in radios for an ing word, but I don't have a bingo through that. And we're dead level in terms of score. I could play jargon. Great, just 22 points per opponent. He creates a new S bingo lane. So do I play jargon? I think I do. Must be scoring, well, only 16 points. That's pretty lame. But what are the alternatives? Is there something in this gap here? PADE. PAGE is good. So do I have any GR words? Well, I do. For 19, giving nothing away and retaining a vowel, I think I'll go with this. Wow, and I draw all consonants again. Maybe my opponent's afflicted with vowels, as he was last turn. Neck and neck, just 3 points between us. Page takes a D and an R, which I have. So I could play Don, but that's dangerous because it's retaining 4 consonants. I'd much rather retain just 3. And maybe I should play through the I. I could play Dint or Tinned, which would leave a pretty good rack leave. And a good 4-letter rack leave with an S is quite valuable. So I wouldn't mind creating a new lane. Still one blank to come. G just takes an L at the end. Now Job takes a D, so I could play Nod and Job. I think that's a better play. Well, opponent takes out that spot, which is a little annoying. So what about playing it this way? 28 points is a good score. 4 consonants, I don't like that. Let me see what this scores. 37 points. I think I'll go with this. Well, again, just the solitary vowel, but I have a slender lead. And there aren't any super hot bingo lanes on the board. There are lanes, but they're not hot lanes. They're lanes in the penultimate row or column, which will provide access to triple word squares. Okay, so what do I have here? 45 points for opponent, that's a good score. I can play Mew for 45, which is also a good score, but a pretty vulnerable rack leave if I continue drawing consonants. And I do. Okay. Well, fortunately I have replenished the S that I burnt with Strond. But look at the floating vowels on the board, almost none. Let me count the remaining vowels. 16 out of 32. Well, half and half. What to do with this rack? I do have an L for going on the end of GRR, but I don't have any plays. Great, opponent has stuck a vowel out into the open. So I can do this. I was going to say plat because it takes a front S, which I have, but I'd rather have double T on my rack than double N. Wow, just 8 points. Should I be changing? That is such a low score. I don't think so, because that triple letter square was pretty dangerous if opponents got a vowel and a high scoring tile like W or Y. I'm going with this. Okay, well, I have an I and an N to go with the Q. I could play chins and stronds. I could play chi and gi. Wow, the rack lead from that would be horrendous. Very little on offer. Wow, an opponent provides a U. One S and one blank to come, and what I'm thinking about is I surely have to play quint. Rack leave is good. I've got the S for squint, but if opponent has an S or a blank, well, he might have a big score. Well, I'm still going with this because this rack leave is bingo-y and the bingo lanes are in the bottom right of the board, so this could prove a distraction. Maybe opponent will play something like was for 30 or 40 points. So quint for 44. For 14 rather. 14. Right, well, I draw Ys, but apart from that, the rest of the rack is looking a lot more promising. Can I get rid of the Ys somewhere? Yay is good, but no floating A's. I could play just J. Dead level on scores again. I think this has been about the third time this game we've been dead level. I can play Yesti. That will be my play if opponent doesn't block up there. But 3 I's to come, so he could play down column 4. Quint, I think, takes an E at the end. So I could play yen. Wow, fantastic bingo for opponent. He has the S and the blank. So that play of quint didn't work out for me. 86 points. What can I do? And I'm really looking at options for my Y. Only 4 tiles left. Is there any way to play off both Ys? I don't think so. I'm thinking about playing tie-in. Teen, rather. 15 points. Leaving 2 in the bag. Well, I think Squinty is good. 4 tiles in the bag, so what is the best way to play this? NY 32? I think so. I'm not going to be able to play off both Ys. So 32 points. Now, do I have something here? I think Yesting might be good, but it doesn't play anywhere. There are 2 tiles in the bag, so opponent doesn't know what I have. But if it's not Yesting, is there something else? And where are the floaters? There's OE, nothing there. I don't have an L for girl. Can't see anything beginning with the E. Well, I'm just not seeing anything great with this rack, or no playable bingo. I think that's the bottom line. The R of Gur is not a floater, only 6 squares to its right. Page takes an S. Do I have a bingo beginning with S? What about staying? Is that good? Or stingy with an E? I don't think either of those is good. I may check staying if opponent doesn't block there. But I think it's Yesting. But opponent may struggle to block that spot without creating a new lane. 11 minutes on both of our clocks. And I'm still just playing around with these tiles in my mind in the hope that a valid 7 will appear. Hasn't happened so far. So a bingo beginning with E or I would be unblockable. Well, opponent plays off just the 1 tile. Let me check staying. Not good. Is there a bingo here beginning with S? Now, 1 tile in the bag, so I could play off just the Y. Is there anywhere good for just the Y? Is there anywhere at all for the Y? I have OI, so I do have that as a possibility. Is there somewhere higher scoring? There's Nye, which scores the same. 10 minutes on my clock. So let me play Nye. Just still looking for a better Y spot. I do have the time. I'm going with this. I draw an E. So, do I have a bingo now? Wow, 36 points for opponent. That's a fantastic front hook spot by him. And it means that he can outrun any bingo, I think. But is there a bingo with this rack? And I don't think there are any floaters on this board. Okay, I'm not seeing one, so how to minimize the losing spread? I can play Gelt for 19. An opponent probably not going out, so I'll be able to go out in 2 with this rack leave. Gelt for 19. So where can I go out? Has opponent provided anything? Well, I can play sign and... Well, I've got knights and a2s. For 13, is that better than sign and pages? It is, by 1 point. Can I do any better than knights? I have knights and snai, that's not more. Not seeing anything better. I'm going with this. And the final score, 343 for me, 415 for my opponent, a winning margin of 72 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He played Cacao, and this was my rack. So I played Pori. I didn't really like it because of this triple letter square next to the A and access to the triple word square. But nothing obviously better. I think all of the plays provide scoring options for opponent. So opponent plays Job for 55, which was a good score. And I have this rack. I play Chalet. Chala was good, which would have been a better rack lead. But K5, ha available for 36, does provide access to row O, but it's a good score, so probably a better play. Opponent plays Fauve. And now I thought about Ceredia. Went with radios. Was there anything else further along? Well, there's air radio and aneroid. Every single play in row M places a vowel underneath this double letter square. So it really was a choice between doing that or providing access to column 1. But Ceredia M3, maybe that extra score favours it. Yeah, 6 more points. Opponent's rack plays Exidri, which was a great spot. And now I have this rack, C12, Dunk. Running across the top of Chalet, but sticking a K in column 15, so not great. Whereas Cud provides nothing and only scores 8 fewer points. Opponent's rack plays Inia. And now, well, I did have Doring in column 4. And I played Gur for 19, 3 fewer points. Yeah, difficult to know what's better there. Doring just has a solitary S, Gur has Dons. And I think Dons is a better rack lead than just an S. Opponent's rack, he's also suffering a vowel shortage. Plays Gambia. And now I have Strond for 37, which deals with an unbalanced rack. Opponent has the blank, trails by 12. Plays Zos for 45. Now I have Mew for 45, so we're neck and neck, just 12 points between us. Opponent plays Father. Now I have this tricky rack, all consonants. And look at these scores. The ones around the 20 mark are burning the S, and then you're back down to where I played, which was plan for 8. Opponent also struggling to score, gets 14 for Tulip, and now I trail by 14. And I played Quint for 14, B1. I could have played Chin, It and New for 30, and I think that would have been a better play because it's 16 more points. It's not providing the squint spot, which, although I had the S, there was an S and a blank out there, and we're close enough in score that I think Chin would have been a better play. That's great news for opponent because he has a ton of row A bingos now. Plays Estriol, and now there are 4 tiles in the bag. I play Nye for 32, nothing obviously better. Opponent plays Jai, leaving 1 in the bag, and I have this rack, and this is my best chance of winning if there is a bingo here. Well, I thought there was for a moment, but there isn't. They're just 6-letter plays. So I play off a single tile, fishing for a final move bingo. Opponent says ow for 36, which was a great spot. And finally, there is no bingo with this rack, despite it looking really bingo-y. And I play Gelt for 19. Opponent plays I2, and I go out for 13, which was the highest score available. So a bit of a wretched game in some ways, in that my score was below 350, so I wasn't scoring particularly highly, but great play by my opponent, especially Estriol, and spotting the O front hook for ow. So an interesting game and some tricky racks to consider. Now, this is the first game that I have recorded in the new year, so belated Happy New Year to everyone. And I've been giving some thought as to how I can better reward the people who support this channel via Patreon. And what I have decided to do is to upload a bonus video once a month to the Patreon site. So that's available for all my patrons on that site. The first video is already available. It features a 5-minute game between myself and somebody else on ISC. So I would encourage all Patreon subscribers to check out that video, and if you're not currently a Patreon patron, the link is directly below this video and directly below all of my videos, and I'm hugely grateful to everyone who supports this channel. Over the last year, the number of subscribers has increased to over 500, and I'd really like to keep that increasing with the hope of having over 1,000 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. So if you know anybody who is not a subscriber who you think would be interested in this channel, it would be great if you could recommend the channel to them so that they can make an informed decision as to whether they like this material. Anyway, thank you all for your support, and I hope you carry on enjoying the videos, and I will see you all next time.